Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. John Lock 83 here. Today I was going to go over my bug out bag with you guys. Couple things I'm going to mention right offhand is after a previous camping trip, my signal mirror that I usually keep in here was busted, and the radio I used to keep in here got stolen back when the tornadoes hit by someone rather, which was really upsetting because it was battery powered, hand cranked, and solar powered, so it was a really good radio. It was very lightweight, and I do plan on getting replacements for both of those items here soon, but those are the reasons why I don't have them right now. Now, this is a Condor pack. I forget the exact model. There are other variants from Maxpedition and other companies that are basically the exact same thing. But this particular pack doesn't have a camelback bladder pouch for it. So that was an easy fix. I just went and bought a Condor Mod Gear Molly hydration pack. And it works really well. I can wear it under my bug out bag with no problem, and if I, for whatever reason, have to ditch my pack, I do lose a lot of gear, don't get me wrong, I'll be upset about that, but I'll still have water. And I do have water purification tablets stashed in here as well. Now underneath it, at the bottom of my pack, right now I got my tin on there because I just got back from a camping trip not too long ago and haven't taken it off yet. But normally it's not part of the pack. It's one of those things that if I have time I'll grab it depending on what the situation is, but if I happen to walk off and leave it, it's not a terrible loss by any means. And strapped right above it is my Gerber Gator machete, which I've briefly covered in a previous video. Holds a very nice edge, does have a saw back, so it's very handy for clearing brush and gathering firewood if needed. The strap's on the side right here. I have my SOG Fusion Tomahawk, and on this side I just have a Condor Mod Gear pouch. This is the EMT pouch. Excuse me. And all I have in here is iodine, some bandages, some splints, the basic medical gear that you're going to want to get to pretty quick if anything goes wrong. I do have more medical gear stashed in my bag, but I don't consider Advil and a Band-Aid and Neosporin to be that big of a deal. So, I mean, by saying that, I mean they're not items that I'm going to need to get to within a minute or so. So I stash them in the bag, and I leave the more crucial medical gear right here on the outside where I can get to it very easily. And down here I have a buck knife attached to it as well. Those of you who have ever camped or done anything outdoors, you know how vital a good knife is. So I keep an extra one attached here. I do have various items that you will see more than one of, and it's because they've proven handy in the past, and sometimes a little redundancy can go a long way. So I do have several cutting tools, means of gathering wood, purifying water, and so on and so forth. But this is all that I carry on the outside of my bag. And like I said, usually I do have a radio which is attached right here in the molly looping in actually what's called an ammo dump pouch. It holds the radio really well, but since it got stolen, I'm unable to present it in this video. So now I'm going to go ahead and start getting into the inner contents of my bug out bag. Okay, right here, I probably should have covered this earlier. I do have 3 different pockets, one here up front, one in the middle, and then the main compartment back here. The outside pocket I don't really keep much, as you can see. Normally this is where my signal mirror would be, but as I mentioned, it got busted, so it's not here at the moment. So all I keep in here is my poncho, because I might need to get to it real quick. The signal mirror too, obviously, in case I need to signal somebody or signal for help. I may be stuck in the woods with a broken leg or something like that, so a signal mirror is one of those things that I want to be able to get to really quickly. And the next thing in the Ziploc bag, I have 2 different manuals here. They're kind of old, outdated maybe, but they still hold a lot of good information. I have the first aid guide and the survival guide, and I've read through both of these 2 or 3 times maybe. I haven't memorized both of them front to back by any means, but I know enough to get me by. And I think it's important to keep these in my pack, so if the situation does arise and I don't exactly remember how to handle it, I can always flip back as a reference. And I keep a deck of bicycle cards in here. If I'm alone, I can play solitaire with myself, keep me occupied. Or if I'm in a group, I can possibly gamble all my ammo away trying to get more ammo. Just never know. But it's important to have a set of bicycle cards or a book or something like that, just to keep your mind busy. So it kind of helps take the doom and gloom out of the situation, whatever it may be. But that's it, and I'm going to get into the middle pouch now. Okay, this is the inside of the middle pouch here. I have 3 8-pack MREs, a couple of different choices. I have pasta with garden vegetables and tomato sauce, southwestern chicken with black beans and rice, and spaghetti with Italian meat sauce. And now I'm extremely hungry. But anyway, I have 3 MREs in here, you know, the basic 72-hour rule, and I can make it pretty easy on 1 MRE a day. It's not much of a deal. And another thing I like to keep in here, this is just a regular Ziploc bag, but it does have various condiments from MREs past, I guess you could say. Excuse me. I do have a orange flavored drink mix in here, some Tabasco. You gotta have Tabasco. If the world's ending, you know it's gonna be doom and gloom as it is. I can't go without my Tabasco. And I got a couple of packs of coffee in here, some creamer, sugar, salt, and just various things that I didn't use out of the previous MREs. And I do have other items from MREs that I've had in the past, the toilet paper, the matches, and so forth, and they're scattered throughout the bag in their appropriate places too. Now, one thing I do have extra in here is just a Mountain House dehydrated meal. A little bit extra isn't a bad idea, and this fits in here real nice. I was able to squeeze it in, and it doesn't have any weight to it. And everybody seems to be focusing mainly on Katrina and North Alabama and Virginia and other places like that have been recently hit. But everybody seems to be forgetting that way back in the day, when Hurricane Andrew hit Florida, a lot of residents went up to 2 weeks without getting any kind of help. So just because 72 hours is the minimum doesn't mean that if you have the option of packing a little extra that you shouldn't. So I actually have a dehydrated meal. I'll probably see if I can stuff another one in here eventually, but right now I just haven't had the time. But that's basically it. That's all I keep in the middle pack. And now I'll break open the main compartment and show you all the stuff I keep in there. Okay, I pulled most of the stuff out here. And the stuff I have right up top where I can get to it fairly easy. I have a LED lantern. The reason I went with an LED lantern is in case I have to pack up in a hurry and relocate, I can save my lantern, stick it back in my pack. It's not going to be hot like a kerosene lantern. I don't have to worry about carrying extra kerosene or anything like that and turning my bug out bag into a possible inferno. I have some extra paracord here, what I didn't use trying repeatedly to make a paracord survival bracelet rather. Now right here I have a pair of leather work gloves. I found these to be rather useful. I've been in 2, I guess you call bug out scenarios. Once I went with a guy I know to New Orleans to help his uncle salvage what he could out of his apartment. And as I mentioned back in April, when we were hit by tornadoes in North Alabama, these came in really handy in both situations, so I'll leave those up top where I can get to them easy. Because when you're going through brush and debris and people's houses are torn apart, you want to have a good way to protect your hands. So I'll leave these in here. Also have a mag light and my Brunton monocular. Went with a monocular just because everybody else goes with binoculars. And I like to be a little bit different, and this thing works really good. It really gets out there. You can go anywhere from 10 to 30 power with this, and it zooms in really, really good. I've been really impressed by this little thing. That's all I have to get to right away anyway. Right here I have my fire stuff. I have several SBIT fuel tabs, as well as the SBIT camp stove, and just some extra matches. There's, as I mentioned earlier, left over from an MRE. Then I have some wet fire tenders. I'm actually going to throw these away because they're no good. One important thing, if you don't know it, when you get wet fire, If it feels kind of waxy, it's good. If it feels like it's chalky, it's no good and it won't light. I've stuck these directly in a fire and got no luck with them. So if you decide to go with wet fire as a fire starter, it's a good idea to open at least one tablet and make sure you got a good pack. Excuse me. Right here, this is my, I guess you call it my bug out bathroom. I have some Kleenex in here. God knows I need it in case you've seen some of my past videos. I'm still fighting the cold. I got some moist towelettes from some MREs, some wet ones. The reason you want to keep the wet ones in there is because you're not going to be bathing with water, and you always want to keep your face, your armpits, your crotch, your feet, and your hands clean. And these are really good if you don't have access to a shower or anything like that. And the last thing I have in here, I don't think I've ever told you how many, but I do have 3 daughters. So and a wife. So I carry a lot of toilet paper in my bug out bag. I have 6 camp rolls. It's the exact same thing as regular toilet paper, just without the big bulky cardboard lump. And you can fit 6 of these in the same amount of space as you can fit 1 regular roll. So those are a really nice option. I like those a lot. Over here I have my medical stuff. As I mentioned earlier, I do have excuse me, the medical pack on the outside. This is just a little bit extra. I have the the basic first aid kit, band-aids. I added some Imodium AD in there because diarrhea is not something you want to deal with in a bug out scenario. I have an extra snake bite kit in here. In Alabama, I don't know how many varieties of poisonous snakes there are, but I guarantee we have just about one of every kind. I have an extra pack of Quick Clot. I also have that in my pack on the outside. I have the always popular Mylar blanket, an Ace bandage, and some water purification tablets as well. Now right here, I had the idea of strapping this to the outside of my pack, but it got kind of heavy, and you don't want something heavy like this hanging off the back of your pack because it puts an extra strain on your back. So I just went ahead and tucked the straps in and put this in the bag itself, and it actually goes in there really good. And I'm going to go through everything I keep in it. I keep the UST saber cut saw here. It's an actual chainsaw blade, and can be sharpened with chainsaw sharpening tools and techniques. I have some extra matches here. The UST Sparky for creating a fire. I'm not going to strike that in here, obviously, because I don't want to set my carpet on fire. I have a small Smith's knife sharpener, which is really good. You got the file here, which comes out for serrations, and then the regular blade sharpeners. I have an X-Acto knife, again the UST. This is the blast match, one-handed operation, works really good. I have another knife, some extra batteries for my lantern. And these are additional CR123 batteries. As I mentioned, I do carry some lights that are powered by those batteries. And of course I have a compass, because I don't want to be out in the woods following the North Star and 2 days later realize the North Star I've been following was just an airplane. So I like to know which way I'm going. Now, some stuff I didn't pull out here. I have my toothbrush and toothpaste in this net back here. I want to take care of my teeth. That's keeping your mouth clean is just as important as the other areas. I have some extra clothes for when it gets cold. I got some thermals, some gloves, extra socks, underwear, and a balaclava for my face. I have a camper's cook set here. Pot, pan, plate, and the silverware right there tucked in it. I have about 50 foot of rope in here. And one of the last things I have in here, as I mentioned, it's a very important item, I think. Everybody likes duct tape. If you can't duck it, finish that phrase if you want to. But it's just like the Leatherman multi-tool and paracord. It's a multi-tool. It can come in for a variety of uses. Patch your jeans, fix a hole in your tent, tape your arm back on if it falls off. But that's the end of it, guys. Sorry to cut that short, but I'm only allowed 15 minutes per video. But like I said, I just realized I'm missing my whistle too. But as always, stay safe, be ready, and God bless. And by all means, please leave some comments, complaints, or suggestions if you have any.